December 31st, 11:14 a.m. And this is for David and Bill. Happy New Year, guys. I was going to send you Merry Christmas, and these agents screwed it up. So, a little bit late on that one. All right, David, Bill, and for others from the alternative media, this is my assessment of where I think things are going to go here with America and the elite here. There's no doubt that everything's about to collapse here in America. This is quite literally the point where the Jews who had money were leaving Germany. You got me on that one? This is that moment. I'm working on my agency file, which I'd sent off to agencies in 2014. I'd sent it off to the BKA, the BND. I might have sent it off to the BFV. I don't know if I did or not. I sent it off to the KGB, who are now the SVR, I believe, and I had sent it off to Mossad. I'd sent it off to the KGB and Mossad in, I believe that was December of 2014. At that point in time, I had already gotten Horvat exposed, and the CIA was investigating. Might have sent it to a couple of other agencies as well. So I've had to clean it up because Horvat spiked it with technology viewpoints. In other words, I never had all sorts of viewpoints within that file. They only popped up literally when I did the file. They're technology viewpoints. I never had those viewpoints the entire time. You get it? So I've had to remove that shit. Then I've gone through it. My viewpoints are different from 2014. However, I've left the file as I basically sent it off. I wrote it from a different perspective and viewpoint because I had no understanding of how Horvat had gotten away with lying to agents and agencies. You get it? I could not figure it out. But the point is, I'm cleaning this up, and I see, well, German agencies knew all about almost everything, but they screwed up, and they screwed up because they didn't understand they were lied to in the first place. They didn't understand Horvat had deliberately held me in based on her psychology as a psychopath and her agents and herself. They're doing what they want with this technology. Basically, they run as their own agency. That's it. At the end of the day, that's what's being hidden from German agencies. And they're balls to the walls dangerous and corrupt. But anyhow, getting back on track here. So German agencies knew about most of this, not all of it. And, I've realized all sorts of things. And then I'm looking at, well, okay, I'm going to be approaching the alternative media. And they don't get where the gang stalking is about to go here. And the remote neural monitoring also. It's about to spread out to alternative media. I did a video about this. These agents were affecting me with, I think China and Russia are going to invade next year. Or really by 2025. Yes, I think there's a very strong possibility, but I'm looking at everything here. And they affected me in regards to that video. I'm still going to send it or include the link down below because it's still a possibility. This is where I'm going to get. What I see the elite have set up here, and all the different pieces, they're starting to move on the chessboard. The one I get that I think nobody else does is that the elite, they all practice agency training. This is how I see them so well. It's because I've been dealing with this shit for 30 years. I've looked at this time and time again. They practice, this is all agency psychology being practiced and agency tactics. So we're going to have cyber shutdowns, cyber attacks this coming year. And what they're going to do is set up basically a YouTube system for the entire internet. Basically, you'll have to have like a driver's license to be able to use the internet. And if you say anything which this AI is programmed to recognize and censor, then you will be censored. You'll be shadow banned. You'll get totally kicked off the internet. So then ask yourself where the alternative media is going to be. You're going to have no voice, just like me. This is where it's been going the entire time. And this is what I wrote in my book here. It's going to be just like YouTube. You will get shut down because you said something that you're not supposed to say. So literally, you'll get banned off the entire fucking internet. And I'm speaking of just alternative media, but think of people with businesses and stuff. If they can't use the internet, they're just going to comply with everything just for the sake of running their business, survival. You get it? And then to top it off, once they get this in place, it's going to be digital currency right away. I saw something yesterday. I saw an ad or something. Wells Fargo is telling its customers they're going to be switching to digital currency. Hello? So they've got it all geared up and running, and now it's moving into place here. So it'll be cyber attacks, and the system will be set up. And then for the alternative media, ask yourselves, where are you going to be? You're going to be in my Disneyland. Even your emails, especially alternative media, because the one I get that none of you all do not, the one that none of you guys get, is that they just bumped it out. God damn them. Julian Assange got taken out of the picture, which I expected. And he was a random equation like Neo in the Matrix. So I knew they were going to get rid of him, and they did. He's had his ass stomped royally, and that's it for Julian. So what's about to happen here is they're going to have these cyber attacks, and they're going to set the system up. The alternative media is going to have no voice, and you are the next line of defense for the public here. So the way they're going to get rid of the entire alternative media is this system. You get it? You're going to have no voice. And it's going to be everybody from the alternative media. But the point is, from an agency perspective, the elites, that's the most important point, because really at the end of the day, it's the elite doing this. Everybody from the alternative media is viewed as high-profile targets. This is why I write about this in my book. I decided to take it out of the introduction and just do it separately. It's a couple of pages for the alternative media. It's my IQ test for people I send this book off to. If you can't wake up to the threat posed here, in which I point out and where this is all going, then you are a moron and not worth my time anyhow. So I'll be sending this off with this short chapter message for alternative media so that I am clear down the road here as I approach people. If they listen to agents, don't interview me, this and that, then I know they're stupid. It's an IQ test in one sense. The message I'm putting out has to get out, and that is that. The point is, there's not a lot of time left here. You get it? So I'm writing about this, and you all are the next line of defense. Julian Assange is out of the picture, and they've already got it set up for taking out the entire alternative media. Next point is, what people are then going to find out from alternative media is, oh, I'm a high-profile target, and I know that because I'm starting to experience gang stalking. No doubt others, many will also start to experience the remote neural monitoring the way I do. And the whole thing's going to be about behavior modification and even trying to change how you think. You get it? And through traumas. So then a lot of people from the alternative media are going to be experiencing the gang stalk. And whether you want to believe it or not, this is what has been breaking the surface. Oh, Dan Bongino experiences gang stalking. Then this guy, Alex Jones, interviewed. He had experienced gang stalking. Alex referred to it as COINTELPRO. It was not COINTELPRO. It was gang stalking. That's where they don't hide anymore, and they're just right out in the open. You know, I got to thinking about it, how they stole the election from Trump here was, you know, they were brazen and right out in the open. I was like, really, that was more like global gang stalking. They were just brazen, did it right out in the open, and didn't give a shit. But the point is, Alex had interviewed this guy, and he was a high-profile target, and they were right out in the open with that guy. And he had a lot of money and stuff. He was from one of these, I think he was on the inside of one of these pharmaceutical companies, if I remember right. But the thing is, oh, and then you see the COINTELPRO smear campaigns happening to Tate, Paul Joseph Watson. They took a shot at Alex, Russell Brand, you got Julian Assange, all the same shit. Me. So, yeah, all the way around, you see the gang stalking starting to break the surface. Paul Joseph Watson and those guys, they were dealing with just the COINTELPRO aspect. COINTELPRO is half of the gang stalking, and it's illegal. The other part of it is the MK Ultra stuff. The traumas are invisible, and the citizens, therefore, don't understand. They're really fucking up the head and the psychology of the people they are targeting. And quite frankly, they don't care. The way the FBI tries to pass it all off is with a sense of humor, you know, oh, it's funny, and people see it differently than how it actually is. But they are delivering very large traumas in regards to the target and targeting the mental health of the target. This is what will be happening to people from the alternative media, many of them. And if you find this hard to believe, I am the canary in the coal mine, and what do I see? I see more and more of it breaking the surface here. It's at the tipping point. You get it? When they set up this new system, everybody from the alternative media is going to be shut down. You got it? So, and then everybody's going to find out, oh, the gang stalking is not just for the few, like me. I'm tempted to put a J in front of that. You got it? Because that's how I've been treated. Nobody has ascertained, measured the gang stalking correctly. It is just another word for fascism. And that's what they've been doing, indoctrinating and institutionalizing this. And the whole thing is a program of a fascist. It's a groundwork for a fascist network. That is what is already in place. So once they get this new system set up, people from the alternative media are not going to have any protection. You get it? That is the difference between somebody in alternative media and myself. That is the only thing that separates you all from me. And then you take a look at Dan Bongino. They still did it to him right out in the goddamn open, and he's high profile. It's breaking the surface. You get it? You all are going to be next. Now, to top it all off, I'd written this in my introduction to this book. And then several days later, I'm looking at the news because I haven't been keeping up with the news lately. I haven't looked at InfoWars. I'm starting to get caught up here, but I haven't been looking at them either very much for the last couple of weeks. And usually that's my way of at least getting an idea of what's going on. The important stuff. Alex is the best at that, but several days later, I come across Whitney Webb, who is my favorite here. I'm not going to lie. She's the best at all. She's better than everybody here. She just dives down the hole and gets to the bottom of stuff. But then, strangely enough, you know what she's saying? She's saying the same shit as me. She doesn't call it a YouTube system, but she describes the exact same thing. And I don't think she hasn't looked at this side of shit with alternative media, how this is all going to play out and what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to lose their voices, and quite frankly, they're going to end up like me. Your emails to certain people will get blocked. People sending you emails, those emails will get blocked. You'll never know people are communicating with you. It's the same thing in my life, by the way. You will be totally isolated, cut off, and you'll have a whole gang of people working for government, constantly violating you. David, you already know what that's like. You experienced it in one way, but you've been vindicated here. You know, people see you've been right the whole time. But at the beginning, you experience very ugly behavior. It wasn't gang stalking, but the similarity is you know, it's no different. It is no different. That is how people are in gang stalking. The ridicule, hitting you up, accosting you and laughing in your face, and being rude. That's all part of the gang stalking, but it's worse, because then they're also coming into your apartment. You don't even own your own shit. They just come in, take what they want, move shit around. That's what Dan Bongino and his wife experienced. Hello? So the gang stalking's much worse, but this is where it's headed. Once they get that system in place, they're taking out the alternative media next. Do you get it? With the alternative media out of the way, there is nothing fucking stopping them. So then let's take a look at what's going to happen here. They're setting it up for civil war, and they've brought millions upon millions of illegals into the country. Many of these people are being given thousands of dollars a month for living, and they have benefits that all Americans do not have here. So they are becoming and made into the new citizens. Then what it looks like they're going to do, they're talking about, well, we're going to use all these immigrants for the army, and if they serve, then they can become a citizen. This is coming up. Yeah, well, what they're really going to do is they're going to take those immigrants, make them into soldiers, and they are going to be the ones fighting against people here. They will be quite literally used against Americans here. That's my best bet. To top it off, I saw a video Alex had up, and it was the Syrians, a group, David and Bill. And these guys are military, and they're special forces. I'd bet money on it. You know, I've known people from SEALs. My father himself was goddamn 82nd Airborne and Special Forces Green Beret. You know how they said, well, we didn't go into Cambodia. Yeah, my dad knows all sorts of shit. It's past the time limit for the NDA, so he finally spoke to me about some of this shit. But the point is, those guys were Special Forces. And you'll note a lot of the Chinese, a lot of them seem to be military, or I see also spies. I see agents. And they will be coming in, and think about these people being made a part of the military. Their whole mission, they're going to be hell-bent on getting rid of Americans. So they will have people within the military more than willing to mow down Americans. You get it? And I think that is what that is really about. Then to top it all off, they're laying down the groundwork for a race war. We will have shitloads of migrants in the American military, and already racism has been restarted, fired here, thanks to all of these groups. And so it will be so the people will be divided. Then on top of that, we're going to have a hostile government here. One way, shape, or form, they're going to create armed conflict here. And I think at some point what they will finally do, I don't know how this is going to play out in time. So I want to be clear. Some of this could be happening in a couple of years, what have you. Eventually the government will do is they'll shut down the big cities with the military, and then they're going to do door-to-door gun confiscation. I've seen some prophecies about this, and I still think it's on the money. It makes total sense as to how they will collect a lot of the guns, and with the cities shut down by the military, there's too much sense to it. They've been trying to get rid of the guns the entire time. So they'll shut down the big cities and do door-to-door gun confiscation, and then those cities will be totally controlled. And all of this is just, everything I speak of here is chaos. The other thing is the economy collapsing here. And the reason why America is the target is they want to prove that capitalism and democracy do not work. And so, of course, that's not the issue or problem. It's corrupt people just stealing all the money is the real issue. Works if you don't steal all the money. But they need America to go down to get rid of the idea of capitalism and democracy. So it's guaranteed we're slated for going right down the toilet here. And the key thing is going to be the internet. They're gonna take control of the internet first. Now, getting back to China and Russia. America has crossed a tipping point with the corruption. We have Biden to thank for that. This is where Trump was starting to turn things around for the better. He was good for the economy. He was good for stability. You name it. But they have been trying to provoke Russia, and really behind the scenes here, I think people have been having dreams about this. Russia and China attacking America with EMPs and taking America out. And it would be very easy for it to be done. Because, quite frankly, this country is already rotted out with corruption, and nobody seems to be expecting it. That's the key point. We'll get caught like the way Israel got caught with its pants down on, on holidays. You get it? And that's also in the cards here. And I figure if that is on the table behind the scenes here, and there's been movement to reflect this with Putin and China, there's been interactions and stuff, and I think even North Korea. So, it makes you wonder what's going on. But I think they will wait to see how the election turns out. They will wait for America to crumble on its own here, anyhow. And then it depends on what happens with the American government. Depends on who's in charge, but they plan on stealing the next election. But to be clear, with the people who are running the show here in this country, they are viewed as a threat to Russia, as well they should be. This has been going on a long time. I was living in Germany, and then the Americans are pushing for nukes in Poland. I was like, what the fuck? You can't do that. We had a big problem with it when they tried putting their own in Cuba. You can't set a double standard. So this has been going on a long fucking time. But the point is, once it's absolute that America is fallen and rotten and these people are hostile towards Russia, the next thing that's going to happen is Russia and China are going to take out America. So I figure they'll wait for the election, see what happens, but it's as far as the cards go, and what I've seen also, people having dreams, really they're not dreams, they're visions about this. There's a difference. A lot of the people are seeing this in 2025, which also makes a lot of sense. And that's also in prophecies. David, I had my own first awakening experience, with the whole enlightenment thing. A couple of years before you had yours, I looked. And, the FBI was labeling me a kook and a conspiracy theorist way before you were. And, the whole thing with me has always been prophecies. And, I was shadow banned before Alex or you also. Hello? This is the point. My life and what has been happening to me is going to be happening to everybody now. You get it? They're coming out of the closet with it. It's breaking the surface. But the point is, I've always used prophecies. I understand which ones to be looking for. And, as the FBI is seen, I see things on a very minute, deeper, smaller level than what they're used to understanding. And it has to do with my enlightenment experiences. I'm the person I've been speaking about in videos, and you can tell the difference between when I get to be normal and my being affected. Can you or can you not? Look at my videos in Phoenix. Hello? So, point is, I've always used prophecies. I know which ones to be looking out for, and I have those red flagged. And then I start to see those also happening. You get it? So I'm looking from the point of view of prophecies, and then also what I know, and the tactics and the pieces being moved around and how they do their business, and I see it. But the prophecies are kind of like it's like my final thing to check off on the list of things here. It's my final measurement. So when I see everything lining up this way, and then I'm also looking at prophecies, which I've been expecting to happen here, and I see that those are happening, I see it here and now, then I know that this is all in place. You get it? It's actually what my next book is going to be about, but if they're going to shut down the internet, then I'll just, my entire goal and intent was always comedy, romance, and screenplays and spiritual books, to make no waves with the elite. I've seen this coming, going all the way back to 2002. That picture of the farmhouse, the barn up on the wall behind me in Phoenix, that is quite literally similar to this mental snapshot these agents see, which goes all the way back to 2002. Me, my family, house, and land, and living away from civilization. And the game plan was always to be low profile, off grid, and that way when all the shit kicks off, me and my family live comfortably while the rest of the world goes to hell. And now I've got to deal with the reality of this shit, so I've got to get this book out. So getting all the way back to the beginning here, I wrote about this, how I see alternative media is going to be shut down. Many people are going to be put in gang stalking because the alternative media are high-profile targets. You are the next Julian Assanges. Do you get it, David and Bill? Do you understand? You probably want to think, well, that just must be you're living in this Disneyland of stalking and technology, and you're just reading into it. The fuck I am. It's breaking the surface. You understand how that one goes, David. Then, quite literally, several days later, after I'd written this, I see Whitney Webb speaking about the same shit. She just hasn't looked at it from this side of things, but this is where I've seen it going the entire time. That's why I finally bring it up in this book. That really, this is my last shot at this. And the alternative media's got to wake up and interview me, and I got to be able to speak about this, or else there's not going to be an alternative media. Everybody's got to be on top of this one. Hello? That's why I say it's an IQ test for the alternative media here and everybody I send this off to. You got to be an idiot to be from the alternative media and not interview me based on all the information here. This is not a system put into place for the few like me. It's happening to hundreds of thousands of people. Hello? It's the greatest conspiracy on earth. It's been hidden from the public because it targets the public and because they plan on quite literally institutionalizing this and making it commonplace. It's going to be mob rule. That is what stalking is. Look at what they've been doing with the public here. Oh, they don't punish people for acting like savages and burning buildings down and attacking people. It's mob rule. You get it? They want to rule people by their emotions. Furthermore, it is the elite here putting out the talking points, and they're just hopping all over it. Man, the alternative media is not only not going to exist, but very many are going to be in my fucking shoes. You got it? It's not me reading into shit. I've been expecting this. It is finally here. So my next book was going to be on the prophecies, and with, footnoting, by the way, so people can look it up themselves. But the point is, first book where I do that. But the point is, I was going to be doing this prophecy book and then explaining how how you can see the prophecies here and now. There's two people going by. Couple of idiots. This guy's just staring at me the whole way, stalking. You get it? This be you all. They got called out because I'm doing the video. So they want to get themselves in. This will be your future. And I'm here at my parents', you know. When they do this shit, usually it's nonstop. But I could care less about most of it. I've been in this so long, I get the psychology behind it. I get people like, this guy is an idiot. You can tell, you can read people's energy. That's the point. A lot of people enjoy doing this. You get it? That is the point. They won't give a fuck about people from alternative media. They're going to love hating. And really, it's Satanism in one sense. They are being groomed. You get it? They are being groomed with hatred. And they will be ruled. It will be mob rule. And, again, hate-based. It's going to be one big, happy, satanic society, and most of them won't even know it. They won't recognize themselves. That's the point. That's how these people are. And the economy is going to crash here at some point. It's guaranteed. That was always the game plan. That is what I have always written about from book one. America has to go down because it is the standard bearer. That's why Germany is also targeted the same way. Germany is the strongest country in Europe. So they are also now being targeted for their own reverse engineering here and their own destruction. Again, this is the same reason why. And these are all of the pieces on the board and what will be happening. So getting back to Russia and China, what do you think they will do? China's just openly hostile towards America anyhow. But they're going to hop on board with Russia. If Russia wants to take out America for its own protection here, do you or do you not think they will do it? If they see they've got just these unstable leaders who are all about targeting Russia and breaking Russia, what do you think the Russians are going to do? They're going to do something. And they will just do a first strike. And people across the world are having dreams about this because it's there on the next level already. The only thing that happens next is it goes from this level into 3D reality. So I think they'll wait for the election, and because this is how Putin does this shit, he does it based on divine law. He'll want to make sure that, you know, he's got no choice but to do it. He'll let America destroy itself. It'll be weaker. And, you know, none of that is his problem. But if the next leadership is just as bad, then they will make a strike. So all the way around, I've got to be out of the country. And once I get out, I'm living low-key. It'll be comedy, romance books. I'll have no problem selling those and screenplays. Movie screenplays. That's where the big money is at. And it's what I would love to do, is see one of my comedy romances be turned into a film. See, from my end of things, David and Bill, my game plan has always been to get out, get the information out, and then be low-key and live a happy, quiet life. And then while the world is going down the toilet, I and my family will be comfortable and happy in one sense. That was always the game plan. And now I've got to squeeze this book out, which puts all sorts of attention on me, and this is all going to be happening, but I've got no choice. So I'm not living in fear. I'm not living in guilt. I've spoken the truth to Jürgen and German agencies here, so I think they get why I am leaving. Jürgen most certainly does. He gets the politics of this world and the players. He's the only agent I've met that I've got respect for on that regard. He gets how a lot of this shit works, David. So that's not a point or issue, because strangely enough, the CIA will still be in my life no matter what country I pick, and they will see that I live up to my word. I will not be making waves with agents and agencies. I got to get this book out, interviews done, make money, get out of the country, and then I'll be working on other books. If it doesn't all just shut down right away and the world doesn't just all instantly go to hell and I can do my prophecy book, then I will. But if I see it's the wrong climate and atmosphere for it, then I won't do it. That's the point. This book is literally about my getting out of the country, and this will get my other books out as well. So I expect to make some money here. Because really, it'll be like 4 books instantly coming out. Yes, my 3rd book needs to be cleaned up. It's not my fault. It has to do with agents and technology. But I can always do that down the road. And the point is, the information within it is still goddamn good, isn't it? So, yes, it's, you know, that book was not written the way I would have written it. It needs an edit job, but people can still buy it. And it explains all sorts of stuff which people should know about. So I expect I will be selling more than just this book. I'll be, you know, people will be buying my other books. A Logical Guide is to Seeing and Understanding Corrupt Politicians is, for me, the ultimate book for giving to somebody who doesn't understand how this corrupt system works. In other words, somebody like your grandparents are like, well, why would they do that? That's really what that book explains. It explains the psychology and the nature of corruption. I think the book's brilliant. To be honest, I'm still proud as shit of that book. I literally wrote that with my own parents in mind. They were the template. Those were the people I had to wake up with that book. So I'm very proud of that book. And the book cover is brilliant. Everybody always loves the book cover. It was a good choice, you know. So, but the point is, this book will get me money, and then it's going to be quiet, happy time for me. Oh, I'll be happy as shit. When I finally get to this stage of my life where I'm doing comedy romance, I'm going to be happy as fuck. And I'm going to be worrying about agents and agencies. Eventually, they'll have their fuck off time because there's not going to be anything to watch. They'll see I'm living up to my word, which really, it's not even my word. I just have no desire to paint a bullseye on me. That is what this book is going to do. But I've made myself clear. It's just this book and just these interviews, and then I'm done with it. If somebody were to contact me a year or two down the road, these agents looked and asked yesterday, you know, they wanted to do interviews about this technology and this book, which I'm about to finish here and get out. In fact, I got to go to the coffee shop after this. Yeah, they looked and they're like, well, would you do interviews? And I was like, well, at first I was like, yeah, if it'll drum up sales and money. For me, the thing is about money at this point. But then I was like, no, I don't know. A year or two down the road, I may not even want to be speaking about this shit because my life's going to be so totally different. I'm Mr. Instant. That's in the file here. And that's what that's about. I make up my mind, then it's made up. That's how I do my shit. Okay, I keep running out of memory and the camera keeps cutting off. As I was saying, that's how I do my shit, Jurgen. Make up my mind. I don't waste my time and energy. Once I make up my mind, it's in stone. It's that simple. I've never been a threat to agencies the entire time. This goes all the way back to 2002. You do not understand. Somehow my dramatically changing got labeled as somehow a threat to agencies. It was never a threat to agencies. My looking forward to going free got labeled as trying to manipulate. That's also an enormous lie. That is what Monica recognized, witnessed, and saw, and lived and breathed with me. She saw I had changed, and she knew I could go free because she saw I was different. That's where I was. I realized I could go free because I had changed. That's where I've been the entire... There's none of this. That's the point. I'm constantly speaking about shit in your heads which doesn't even exist. I can't stand any of you. So this idea I'm going to be a threat down the road is total bullshit. Now, I want to get back to some points here. The reason why they're going to use foreigners who have gotten in here and say, well, you can be a citizen if you work for the military. Everybody going all the way back to the early 2000s. What was it? Oh, NATO will be moving in. They'll be called in, an excuse invented. They'll be coming in and intervening in America. That went on for so long, they know they can't just bring NATO in and use NATO on the country or something. I think they quite literally will use, people who are, quote, Americans now. They join the military, and as long as they do what the government wants, which is to go after real Americans, then they get to be citizens. Many of these people are already getting, a couple of $1,000s a month and have a place to live and shit. They're being made citizens. Quite literally, they want to replace the population. That is why it centers around race now. They plan on exterminating all the white people in this country the same way as South Africa. That is what they are going for. So they bring this up, they can serve in the military to become citizens, and everybody thinks they're looking at overseas. No, they're not. They're looking at right here. Oh, then it'll be Americans fighting Americans instead of Americans fighting NATO. You get it? So if you see the math here and do the math, does it or does it not look like I am correct about this? Jurgen, so here I am eating, and they just hit me up. They're looking at this guy who lived next door to Jeff out in Greensboro. And I used to just rip into this guy with Jeff and make fun of this guy. FBI thought I didn't like him. No, it was just all in good fun. It was harmless because he had no idea. So I thought. I say so I thought. And this is what the FBI is checking. As I began to notice a change with him, and I figured somehow he knew what I was saying about him to Jeff. And they see this. I viewed him as possible FBI, but he wasn't a bad guy. I didn't have anything against him. In real life, if it had just been him and me, we would have gotten along just fine. The point is, my joking around and ripping into people is not, I can have fun with it and really get into it, but it's not really about malicious intent. It's not about, hating somebody. You get it? It's more about having fun. It's like doing a comedy. But I'm sure these idiots, all the way back then, they thought I didn't like the guy. Because Jeff was in the FBI's pocket. And he had asked me questions. So, Jeff, the FBI was clueless. I mean, the FBI were a bunch of fuck-ups back then, and they're a bunch of fuck-ups now. Do you realize, back then, I pretended to be angry. I acted it, and I said to Jeff, take a picture of me. I'm going to pretend to be angry and take some pictures. And he did. Later, the FBI used that in gang stalking because they thought I was angry in the picture. I wasn't even angry. You understand? This is where I've been. This is why I said I'm like a YouTuber. I'm much more conscious and do things with much more conscious intent than people realize. I pick up on, and I know that people are clueless about where I'm actually coming from, and I could care less. Many times, I'm just on their level and having fun with them. But where I'm actually coming from is somewhere different. You don't find that out unless you're on a more conscious level and I open up to you in the first place. Or you just see me and get me and understand what it is in the first place. They're still idiots. Patsy picked this guy. No doubt a Fed. Or somebody in tight with him at any rate. And Patsy thought that he and I would just click. And I view the guy as kind of, he's just, he's a nice guy, but I could make tons and tons of jokes about him. I say to Patsy, I always refer to this guy as Patsy's boyfriend. He's kind of a neo-maxi zoom dweeby. He's not a bad guy, but he's kind of, he doesn't get shit. So, but I don't have anything personally against the guy. I could get along with him, no doubt have a good conversation or something, but friendship, and he's not my kind of person at all. So they're constantly, it's always misprofile. They don't get jack shit. They have not. They do now. The point is, I make jokes about him. I use him as, I throw him in Patsy's face because, boy, she screwed up royally on that one. But the guy, he and I, hang on, squirrels. He he and I have nothing in common, and I couldn't be friends with this guy. He's not the kind of person I could be friends with. So I want to get back on track. So you can see the gang stalking, and if you understand, with the gang stalking, if you're a high-profile target, guess what comes with it? Remote neural monitoring. It's actually what most people in the alternative media have on them right now. They've got a wiretap on them by agencies. They deal with a team of agents, and they don't even know it. Most of the time, they never break the surface. They broke the surface with Carrie. She still didn't get it all figured out. Absolutely amazing. But, so you can only imagine, once this system kicks off, it'll be a lot of people finding out this is all real and true, this is where it's headed, and this is the way it actually is. So that's what InfraGard is for with the FBI here. They're institutionalizing the gang stalking and making it more and more commonplace. I saw where they were even revealing the goddamn files to citizens in InfraGard. Hello? Real professional. Now, that's about indoctrinating people and creating a fascist army here. Who are they serving? Government. Do they care about the truth? No. Do they care about other human beings? No. There you go. All the way around, already it's off to a bad start, isn't it? In regards to Alex, by the way, I want to add this before they make me forget it. Alex should get out of the country and go to El Salvador. But that's on him, you know. But he's not going to be very safe here. Talk about high-profile targets. Forget it. He should go to El Salvador, and, you know, I'm not going to tell him what to do, but you see what my own game plan is. I'm stepping out from the entire picture and living a low-key life. Mamas! And that's my cat call. You know, I'm going to be living a low-key life and hopefully a quiet, comfortable life if I can get everything together here in a short period of time. I envy him. He has options. He has choices. Look at me. Look at what my choices are and my options. I've got no choice. I got to get this book out. And I think Jurgen at least can clearly get this. So that's just good luck. Because of Jurgen, the Bakian will get where I'm coming from in this regard. I got no choice. Everything's about to go to hell here in America. And, you know, really, this is about survival for me. So I've got to get this book out. It'll get all my other books out, and I'll be getting out of the country. Alex should go to El Salvador. He can decide what he wants to do with his life here. But from my end of things, if I get this book out, and therefore all my other books out, I will have done my part. Then it's comedy, romance, stepping out from the entire world scene here and just living a quiet, comfortable life to the best of my ability, and getting my family out of Germany, everybody. And, you know, that way everybody's safe and I can have peace of mind. So that's my game plan. All right, I'm going to end the video here. I'm running out of space, so that's it.
Train my fingers to warfare. Train my hands to fight. Darkness in everywhere. Shine bright, bring light. From LA to Las Vegas, trying to find out where to go now. Been across the world, but found out it's all but a show. At this point in time, all that I care about are souls now. It's a battlefield, warfare, get your sword out. Angels and demons fighting for territory all around. People are sleeping like they got it under control now. Go to the devil crowd, I send them mob around house. Wake them up before it's too late and all of the time's out. This is warfare, bow your heavens, Lord, come down. This is warfare, touch the mountains, lava rains down. This is warfare, flash forth lightning and make a sound. This is warfare, let them see who really rains down. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare.
Devil had it wrong. Can't sabotage the plan of God. Shield raised, arrows be flashing from both sides like the hazards on. Weapon sharp for real, hacking off the hand of steel. The spirit sword to teach them pause the lesson. Gamaliel, deep bound by Living water for the poor souls. Holy Spirit grieves, seeing his people drinking out of the toilet bowl. Yeah, the love of Jesus compels us to preach the cross, shout and turn to Christ from hell run. He's the only way, so without compromise, I'ma feed them raw meat till I hear well done.
This is warfare. Bow your heavens, Lord, come down. This is warfare. Touch the mountains, lava rains down. This is warfare. Cast forth lightning and make a sound. This is warfare. Let them see who really rains down. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare.
Fear no evil in this war. You know you're sure to be safe, long as you're following Christ and never losing your faith. The devil showing his hand, throwing his plan in your face, but little does he know about to be put in his place. We know he's nothing but a liar, just a serpent, a snake. There's no escaping the fire. He's about to burn in the lake. Get ready to learn what's at stake, cause once you mark up your hand, that's a commandment you break. No longer part of God's plan. Want no part of this land. Take it serious as God's wrath. Walked in sin many years, misled through dark paths. Road to heaven is narrow, maybe zipping up fast. I'm walking straight as an arrow, gotta take a dip in that bath. Now every burden will cast for those who find it a few. No matter what you're going through, he's making all things new. Train my hands for the battle till my fingers are blue. Deeper in word you pursue, learn every word if it's true. This is warfare.
Bow your heavens, Lord, come down. This is warfare. Touch the mountains, lava rains down. This is warfare. Cast forth lightning and make a sound. This is warfare. Let them see who really rains down. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare.
Hey, yo, Brett, DOA, y'all ready to
This
go
is
to war?
warfare.
Let's go. Yeah, there's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Ever since Satan and his angels left their station, cast out of heaven by the God of all creation. Now they roam the earth pacing, deceiving the nations. Wickedness in high places is what we facing. Satanists, Masons, indoctrinations. Birth pains racing towards a great tribulation. Lord, shorten the days like abbreviation. They speak abomination, seeking world domination. Agendas cause division and decrease the population. The future looking dark like the days of Noah's Ark. A flood of filth like it was prophesied. Water full of sharks looking to devour. We in the final hour. Soon the stars will rain from the heavens like a shower. That's when Jesus comes down, full of glory with the power. He's overcome the world. Victory is ours.
This is warfare. Bow your heavens, Lord, come down. This is warfare. Touch the mountains, lava rains down. This is warfare. Cast forth lightning and make a sound. This is warfare. Let them see who really rains down. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare.
Train my fingers for battle and my hands for war. Bringing the gospel to the ends of the earth like a world tour. I'm about the Lord, so I carry my sword. The word of God is being preached, breaking chains for sure. Standing on the rock, we won't swerve on the gospel. Pentecostal, speaking in tongues and bearing my cross though. Backpack is full of these tracks for all the lost souls. Preaching on the corners of streets, although it's hostile. Every enemy under my feet like apostles. Jesus giving all authority, breaking strongholds. He's coming in the night like a thief, we will not fold. Jesus is the shepherd of the sheep, send me, I'll go. Homie, are you thinking you're the king? This is God's throne. Following the devil and his schemes, wearing blindfolds. Blind, but you thinking you can see, got your eyes closed. The kingdom of God is coming, we'll preach till it's night.
This is warfare. Bow your heavens, Lord, come down. This is warfare. Touch the mountains, lava rains down. This is warfare. Cast forth lightning and make a sound. This is warfare. Let them see who really rains down. This is warfare. 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 Jesus Christ is the King of Kings, and He has the victory for eternity. This is warfare.